In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was formless and empty. Darkness covered the deep waters, and God's Spirit was hovering over the surface. Genesis chapter 1, verses 1 to 2. Have you ever wondered how the world began? Where did we come from, and why are we here? The answers can be found in the very first pages of the Bible, in the book of Genesis, which means beginnings. Let's dive into the wonderful story of creation. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Do you realize how awesome that statement is? It means that everything around you, the mountains and valleys, oceans and rivers, birds and bees, plants and animals, even you, were all brought into existence by the power of God. There was nothing before God created everything. Only He always existed. Nothing happened by chance or by itself. Everything was carefully planned and made by God. You are not here by an accident. God has a purpose for your life. He wants you to know that you are loved and that you have value because He created you. You will discover more about that as we continue to learn about God through the Bible. So let's go back to the beginning and see how God created everything. We read that the earth was formless and empty. Can you picture that? There were no continents, no oceans, no plants or animals, no people. The earth was like a huge ball without any shape or direction. Darkness covered the deep waters, meaning that the earth was covered in darkness, and there were deep waters everywhere. Can you imagine how dark and scary it must have been? But even in the darkness, God was there. God's Spirit was hovering over the surface of the earth. The Hebrew word for hovering means to move back and forth like a hen that is sitting on eggs, waiting for them to hatch. God was waiting to create. He was excited to bring light into the darkness and to make the earth beautiful and useful. And then we read these wonderful words. Then God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God spoke, and His words were creative. Just by speaking, God made light come into existence. He looked at the light and said, "This is very good." God saw that the light was good and separated it from the darkness. God called the light day and the darkness night. This was the first day. Genesis chapters 1 verses 3-5. When God said, "Let there be light," something amazing happened. Light came into existence, chasing away the darkness. God chose to separate the light from the darkness and called the light day and the darkness night. That is why every year the earth makes one trip around the sun, and we have day and night. Day is a time when the sun shines and we are awake and active. Night is a time when we sleep and dream. And at night, we look up at the moon and the stars and dream of faraway places. We thank God that He made day and night so that life can grow and thrive on the earth. And now let's move on to the second day of creation. On the second day, God made a space between the waters above and the waters below. When God made light, there were dark areas and empty spaces. Now God wanted to separate the waters above from the waters below, so He made a space between them, and God called this space sky. Genesis chapter 1 verse 6-8. When God made the sky, the earth was like an island floating in the water. But now the waters could be separated, and the earth could be shaped into continents and oceans. And soon God would make grass and trees and flowers grow on the land. He also made lots of fish to swim in the seas and birds to fly in the sky. And all these things were good. Now let's talk about the third day of creation. On the third day, God gathered the waters below to reveal dry ground, calling it land. And the gathered waters He called seas. Then God said, "Let the land produce vegetation. Let plants bearing seed be made according to their kinds, and let the earth be covered with plants bearing trees according to their kinds, each producing after its own kind." And it was so. The earth produced vegetation. Plants bearing seed according to their kinds and trees bearing fruit with seed in them, each according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. Genesis chapter 1 verses 9-13. Before this day, the earth was just a big mass of wet stuff. No mountains, no valleys, no dry land anywhere. The seas were everywhere. But God wanted people to live on the earth, and they needed dry land to build homes and plant crops. So God used his power to gather the waters together. Most of the water became seas, and some of it turned into clouds in the sky. Then God used the dry land to grow all kinds of plants, trees, and flowers. How beautiful it must have been to walk among the trees and smell the flowers for the first time. God made sure that each kind of plant could reproduce, each tree could bear fruit, and each fruit could have seeds so that more plants and trees could grow. And God saw that it was good. Now let's move on to the fourth day of creation. And we read, "Then God said, 'Let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens to divide the day from the night, and to separate the light from the darkness. And let them be for signs and seasons, and for days and years, and let them be for lights in the firmament of the heavens, to divide the day from the night.' And God made the two great lights, the greater light to govern the day, and the lesser light to govern the night. He made the stars also." Genesis chapter 1, verses 14-19. At first God made only one day, which was long and had light. But now he wanted to make a year with days and months and weeks. To do that, God made the sun, the moon, and the stars. The sun is a huge ball of hot gas that gives us light and warmth. The moon reflects the light of the sun and controls the tides of the sea. The stars are huge balls of burning gas that are very far away from the earth. God made the sun to rule the day, the moon to rule the night, and the stars to help us tell the time and find our way. And God saw that it was good. And now we are ready to talk about the fifth day of creation. We read, "Then God said, 'Let the waters teem with swarms of living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth all around under the sun, in the firmament of the heavens.' And God created the great sea creatures, and every living thing that moves and swarms in the waters, according to their kinds, and every bird according to its kind. And God saw that it was good." Genesis chapter 1, verses 20-23. God had already made the seas and filled them with water. Now he wanted to make creatures to live in the water. So God made fish, whales, and other creatures to swim in the seas and oceans. Then God made all kinds of birds to fly in the air. Each kind could lay eggs and have babies of its own kind. And God blessed them. God blessed them to be fruitful and multiply, filling the water and the air. And God saw that it was good. We are now at the sixth day of creation. On the sixth day, God made animals to live on the land. God made livestock, wild animals, and creatures that crawl on the ground. He made some animals to play around with, others to help us do work, and some to be our pets. He also made insects like ants and bees, and many other creatures that crawl, fly, or walk, and God saw that it was good. But that was not all he made. God had saved the best for last. He made people. We read, "Then God said, 'Let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the heavens, and over the livestock, and over all the earth, and everything that moves on the earth.' So God created man in his own image. In the image of God he created him, male and female. God blessed them, and God said to them, 'Be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it. Have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the heavens, and over everything that lives and moves on the earth.' Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all their hosts. And God ended his work which he had done. So he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had done." Genesis chapter 1, verses 24-31. God made men and women. They were special because he made them in his own image, which means they had a spiritual nature and could have a personal relationship with God. God gave them the earth to take care of and to use for their benefit. They could enjoy the beauty of nature and the friendship of animals. God told them to be fruitful and multiply, which means that people should have families and become many. And finally, we come to the seventh day of creation, and we read, "Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all their hosts. And God ended his work which he had done." So God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because in it he had rested from all his work which he had done. Genesis chapter 2, verses 1 to 3. Every day God accomplished something new and wonderful. But on the seventh day, he rested from all his work. After 6 days of hard work, he took a break and enjoyed the beauty of what he had made. And he made the seventh day holy, which means set apart for a special purpose. God wanted people to remember that he is their creator and to spend time with him on the seventh day, resting from their work and worshiping God. This is why we have the Sabbath, to remember that God is the creator. So this beautiful story tells us that God is the creator of all things, and everything he made is good. As Psalm 19:1 says, "The heavens declare the glory of God, the skies proclaim the work of his hands." We hope that this story blessed you and gave you a better understanding of who God is and how much he loves you. If this story blessed you, please subscribe to our channel for more videos about God's love and power. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you learned something new and exciting about God. Keep exploring the Bible and discovering more about Jesus. Until next time, may God bless you and keep you in his love.